Hey everyone, don't forget to subscribe. Conjure on. Hello guys, welcome to Three Hoodoo Sisters. Today is a really busy day. I have spiritual work, I got clients I need to call, but I really wanted to stop and do the Jeff Bannon and Donald Trump. I know he's apologized, but it doesn't feel over yet. Like, I'm really curious about what's gonna go on behind closed doors. But today I decided to change it. I decided to do something a little bit different because I'm getting bored with just tarot cards. And I read so many other things, I just don't show all of my skills. And shout out to Skilly. And oh, y'all are finally seeing pieces of me now, right? Shout out. Thank you, girl. Skilly, thank you. It's beautiful and it's raw, just the way I like it. Thank you. Okay, now let me go, and what we're going to do is use the actual bones to see what is going on with Donald Trump. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this and take my bones. And for those who don't know, like, bone reading is like a very ancient form of like divination. It obviously came way before tarot, okay? But I'm going to use this to read Bannon and Donald Trump, okay? Alright. I think there's still some stuff in here. You gotta get every piece, y'all. Like, even I have two kits. I have a public kit and I have a private kit. So this is my public one. These are my 4 shells to do right here, to do divination. So yeah, let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. This is the most comfortable position that I can find. So my throwing isn't going to be perfect, but you'll see these have been blessed. So these aren't normal random ass coconut shells. There's a way to read these. So don't just get you 4 coconut shells and start being like, look, I can read this. We live in such a cut and paste society that a lot of people don't really know how to do anything, but they act as if they do. And this is one of them. So yeah, so basically here's the actual bones, and they feel a little dry, so I'm about to bless them with some Florida water. And meaning dry, I'm saying that they don't feel activated, so I don't use them as much as I should. Just gonna put a little here. Everybody has their own style, okay? So I know y'all are like, hurry up and start reading, but I'm about to start. So this reading, ancestors, this reading is about Jeff Bannon, no, Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. Normally I say some stuff, but I'm not trying to give everybody everything. So I'm just keeping it simple, and I'm just using Florida water. And for those that want to know, I do teach reading bones. I do. Let me just go and throw them and see what exactly is going on with Donald Trump and Bannon. All right, y'all. Interesting. I'm just staring at it now. So, trying to get one thing that is standing out to me already is, I know this is weird because there's a space here. There's a space here, right damn in the center. And that is telling me they're not really, it's crazy. They're not communicating as directly as they should. Meaning that there's other people involved who are talking for them. Let me see. There's this huge thing here, and it's like the truth lies here. The answers lie here. Okay? Also, here it's telling me that Bannon actually feels a certain type of way. He was blocked from some type of personal information, some type of something that he thought he would still have access to. Something happened when him and Donald Trump separated. I feel as if he thought he would have more access to Donald Trump. He thought that he thought they would have more talking or more exchanges, something of that actual sort. But he's being blocked. So that's another thing. They don't really speak to each other on that type of like level anymore. So then it's bringing me, I'm seeing a few things. It's so scattered, and when it's this scattered, it's telling me a lot. It's telling me that there's a lot of, spiritually, I'm feeling like there's not a lot of communication. And if there is, it's through a third party. It's just really coming up, and the cards are too scattered. I mean, the bones are all over the place, and it's telling me a lot. But right here, it's telling me a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff here. One thing I'm seeing here and here is that Bannon, even that stuff Bannon said is absolutely nothing. Like, for national security, he didn't even tell y'all the half of it. That's not, that stuff that old Donald Trump couldn't read, the blah blah blah, and that's nothing. There's so much more stuff he knows that he could profit off of it, but because of his loyalty, there's an issue. He's going to have major problems with a certain female. He's gonna, I think when we read his book, something is gonna come out about a problem he was having with a major female who was in Donald Trump's ear. I don't know what, I don't think he said it in the, he's released it, but there's a woman who's gonna come out in his book who he didn't really care for, who was always in Donald Trump's ear, and he's gonna bring it out. She's a major player. She's very strong, and she's actually center in the actual she's close to center. She's not center, but she's close, meaning she has his ears. She has his ears. Also, this actually represents death. To me, it does. Because somebody gave me this earring who was murdered. And it was actually an earring piece. But she was murdered. So I always use this to like describe death and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it's the actual physical death. I think it's speaking more so in terms of the kind of death of like a relationship, death of like communication, blah, 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 blah. That type of thing. There were no risks taken when he wrote this book. Like, I'm sorry, he's not telling you anything. Like, I think the most shocking thing is her. It's gonna be something about this woman who he talks about, this major player in his book. I can't wait for it to come out because I think I ain't buying it. I'm gonna drive up to Barnes and Noble and read it. But she's showing up as a major player. Let me see what else is saying. What something is saying it here. Something is telling me something here. Okay. Very interesting. You know what's funny, guys? The more readings I keep doing on Donald Trump, I feel like women have a major influence in his life. And I know, well, his staff has a lot of women, but the power has changed. Whoever's in charge is a woman. Whoever's putting stuff in Donald Trump's ear all the time is now a woman. So things have shifted. Things have really changed. And I'm trying to find Donald Trump in here, and it's so crazy because this book, she's right across from the helm of empowerment. So it's telling me a lot about this woman got a lot of power. I think she's the same one who got Omarosa fired. She's very powerful. We all think it's the actual men in the White House who hold power, but it's actually a woman. Let me see what else is going on. Something here is trying to tell me something. This is close to here. This is close to here. This is close to here. Bannon's gonna talk about Ivanka in his book. He's gonna talk about how she doesn't want to be there and how she's not happy and how she feels she's constantly being watched and constantly being, you know, he's gonna bring up something about that. He's gonna bring it up. This is spying, not all the time, but when it's by certain things, it's very close to spying or being watched. And I just feel like this is his wife and she's being spied on or constantly. But of course, you know, she has the CIA or you know, the Secret Service, but it's something about her not wanting to be there that I think he's going to bring up in his book too. His book has some juicy tidbits, but this told me that he would never do anything to harm national security. This is also telling me this is actually connected to something else that I'm not seeing. It's funny, but this and this, even though it's far away, these are connected. It's trying to tell me a story about something, and I'm trying to listen and see what is going on. All of this is telling a story, guys. All of this, actually from here to here, is telling a story. It's telling a story. You know what really pissed off Bannon? And I'm going to tell you right now what pissed him off. He feels that Donald Trump has purposely blocked him. It's all here. I see it here. But he feels like he's been purposely blocked. Not just from Donald Trump, but being... it's something about him having to be careful how he uses his old title or his relationship with Trump. There is a bitterness there. Like he can't brag about his former position. Like, you know how you were vice president of like Coca-Cola, but then Coca-Cola doesn't want you to say it? It's something, it's like he's the former blah 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 blah, but he feels weird. There's a blockage there where it's almost like he's bitter. It's like Donald Trump didn't want him to use it anymore or say it. It's something about like he doesn't deserve that title or something that he felt like he basically feels he's being shaded, okay? Shady things being done that are very, very shady. And here's one reason why he doesn't like it also. There's a huge, his money is here, guys. His money is like way over here. And if you look, it's adjacent to national security. What he does was actually going to bring that extra title, raise his pay grade. I don't think Jeff Bannon really, Steve Bannon, whatever his name is, I don't think he worries about money, but something about losing a title pissed him off, and a title that he feels he can't really use. So I feel a lot of animosity. He's not angry, he's just a tad bit bitter. While Donald Trump, I'm gonna tell y'all, Donald Trump is nowhere in these cards. I keep saying cards. He's nowhere in this throw. Donald Trump is not stunting him. Donald Trump, I don't even think that Donald Trump is really the actual person. From how in this situation it's a woman who's cock blocked him. There's a woman in there who is just as powerful as Donald Trump. I don't know who she is. I'm gonna have to do a reading on it, but she cock blocked the shit out of Bannon, and she's been doing it. Something here is also trying to tell me something. It's funny, but I think Donald Trump, something was stolen again. It's a lot of stolen stuff in this reading. Stolen. I had that stolen. I had this. Bannon is bitter about something being taken from him. It's big in his reading, and it's also close to what? The female. But it's bringing up something. I think Donald was supposed to do something alongside Bannon, and I think he declined, or he declined last minute. Like it was cut off. It just wasn't done. Now, one thing, common sense will tell you, one thing I will say is that I did find it very interesting that Bannon went down to Alabama to speak on behalf of that man who was riding on a horse, and he was like a child predator. And I was like, why would you even speak on behalf of this man? And I didn't even understand why he was there. So it's funny, even though Bannon has a place in politics, how these throw, it's like he doesn't have a place in politics. It's like, I think oh, thank you, Spirit. I've been trying to find the words. I feel like I'm babbling, which I was. I think what's crazy, Bannon, these don't lie. These don't lie. Okay, Bannon, once he got in the White House, he finally had an official title. Because I think a lot of people in politics didn't take him seriously. I don't know what he did before. I think he ran like some white nationalist like website or something like that. But I think people saw him as still being an outcast in that. And something about being in the White House made him official. But then once he got kicked out, it was like people laughed at him. It's like he can't really use his title with the amount of honor that he wants. It digs away at him. So And he also feels like Donald Trump has purposely kind of cut him off. The thing I'm seeing is that Donald Trump is not really running his life. It seems like other people are in charge of running it for him. But he's bitter. I don't see any emotion from Donald Trump. I just feel I'm bitter, and I feel a certain type of way about certain things. He has no pull. So he went to, and this is all from this, because it's coming up as something being stolen, being taken, and he just couldn't handle it. He just couldn't handle it. He doesn't have the political power with the right people that he wants. Now, we all know he has a huge following, but he doesn't have power with a certain group of people that he wants. And so that's what, okay, I didn't know that. That's what the reading is like, is coming up with. Let me see. I want to see something about their